But let's take a look at our question of the day now. And we're asking you this morning, do you think that the Basic Education Department should continue with the plan to reopen schools for the remaining grades on the 6th of July? And why? And of course, we've seen grades 7 and 12 return to school, and there have been cases of people testing positive, be it learners, teachers. So let us know what you make of that. Are you of the opinion that this is the correct decision or not? And either way, let us know why at Morning Live SABC, hashtag at Morning Live SABC.
Right, let's move on to the stories of the day. But first up, let's have a look at those numbers. 0800 029 999. That's your 24-hour hotline that you can contact to find out any information on coronavirus, and also the WhatsApp line 0600 123 456.
Let's take a look at that provincial breakdown now, and it gives you across provinces the increase in the number of positive cases and the total number of fatalities to date and recoveries. So focusing on the number of positive cases, the increases in the Western Cape, 1,650. There have been 2,115 more cases in Gauteng. Eastern Cape, 1,106. KZN, 450, 164 more cases in the Northwest Province, 48 in Limpopo, 51 in Mpumalanga. The Free State has 75, and the Northern Cape, 29 more positive cases of COVID-19.
All right, just looking at the tests conducted to date, 1.4 million tests, just over. The confirmed cases so far, 111,796. Recoveries, 56,874. The deaths, 2,205 currently. The active cases now in South Africa, 52,717, and new cases reported yesterday, 5,688. Remember, that's the most cases reported in a single day so far in South Africa. We were warned of this time. We were warned that we were entering into the eye of the storm. Well, you can see those numbers are certainly reflecting the cases moving higher. Let's look at the global statistics now, and we can tell you that 9.3 million confirmed cases worldwide, and the recoveries are 4.7 million. Those are the recoveries, and the deaths, unfortunately, up 3,847 yesterday. We're now sitting at 481,000 deaths due to coronavirus. Now, United States still the epicenter at 2.4 million infections. That was up 33,315 yesterday, and the death toll is at 124,000. That's up 766 on the day. Brazil, moving higher, 1.1 million is where they're sitting. They reported 42,725 new infections yesterday, and the deaths in Brazil, 1,185 was what they reported yesterday, to bring their total death toll to 53,874. And you can see as well Russia and India making up the top 4 countries with regard to coronavirus infections and deaths.
Let's take a look at those trending topics now. Starting off, first up, hashtag PhumzileVan Damme. So this is an, I don't want to call it a talk per se, but a conversation that broke out on Twitter after Helen Zille had posted a tweet in response to some questions that were being hurled at her. You would remember Helen Zille was trending yesterday about some posts that she put out about apartheid. So it's just been continuing. So here's the tweet. Helen Zille saying, "The only messiah complex within me is that of the culture that holds that a capable state, the rule of law, and personal accountability is required for human progress. If that is not part of the culture you ascribe to, I'm sorry, but it has nothing to do with race." So, and then people, as you can see, they're asking, questions, responding to her. Reason why I won't even think of voting for the DA, pure insult. Zandi Shabalala, don't know how Phumzile and the rest deal with this. Nah. And then Helen comes back and says, and this is what she's saying now about PhumzileVan Damme and the other black leaders in the DA. She says they chill at home and enjoy the sea view. And that, of course, got a response, Leanne.
Whoa, did it get a response? It's unbelievable. And PhumzileVan Damme carried on, and she went mad, saying, you tweet outrageous things and then backpedal. Not a single person who read your tweet understood it to mean this. And it is not the first time you have publicly cast aspirations on my character. I saw your call, but since you raised this publicly, I want to discuss it here also. And well, she was replying to was Helen, actually, by what she said she meant by they sitting and watching the sea view. She said, I meant that I believe you and everyone else in the DA would be relaxed and unperturbed by the assertion that a capable state and the rule of law and a culture of accountability are essential for human progress, and that this has nothing to do with race. Surely this is true. So, I mean, as you can imagine, this just was a very... It just erupted yesterday, and I'm not sure if there was something filed, lodged.
You see, there is already a complaint, a formal complaint that was lodged, and this follows on from, as I say, remember Helen has been trending for a few days now. So some members, black members of the DA, have actually filed formal complaint against Helen Zille for the apartheid. Remember, she said apartheid. There were fewer. What was the thing she said about the laws? About
basically the laws,
racist laws.
Yeah,
yes,
there were more racist laws under now in the government now than there were under apartheid.
Exactly. So there was a formal complaint regarding that. So yes, this is why PhumzileVan Damme is trending, that whole thing with Helen Zille, and then. Julius Malema.
This is going to be an interesting one. It really is.
It's going to be an interesting one.
Because basically what's happening, and at 12 o'clock this afternoon, there's going to be a conversation with 5 journalists that will have the opportunity to ask Julius Malema anything. The public engagement will therefore take place at that time. Now, this all came about under a challenge, and it was something that was brought on by the SABC, Samkele Maseko, where basically it was said, look, I am going to task him, this is what Julia said to him, with assembling 5 journalists who can come together and ask me anything. Samkele Maseko gather 5 journalists from different media houses he trusts for a public interrogation session with myself. These journalists can ask whatever question they wish, from VBS bank statements, On Point, and the so-called collapse of Limpopo. And this is all following in a thread. And it was at a press conference that was held by the NPA, where Samkele actually asked about investigations regarding Julius and or the EFF in relation to VBS. This is even though there was no mention of Julius or the EFF by the NPA. But he said, come, let's do this.
Yeah, and he has put out that challenge, and he even said that Paulie van Wyk would be welcome to constitute part of that panel. But Paulie then responded later on, saying that she would not take up that challenge because the Daily Maverick and Amapungane had been banned by the EFF. And I see Mzwanele Manyi also chiming in there, and he's saying, well, Paulie, it's not going to be a good look for you if you don't attend, given everything that you've said about the EFF. They are now saying they are here, you can come and interrogate, so why not take the opportunity? It's going to be interesting. I see Eusebius Makaiza might be part of that, Samkele Maseko, Tidi Madia, Mahlatsi, what's Matlatsi's married name now? But Gallants was the maiden name. These are some of the names that are being thrown out, Leanne, of the 5 journalists who may do that interrogation. So
fantastic.
Interesting.
Mahlaze.
Yes. That's her married name.
I thought I'd let you try and get that one for a bit. Anyway, this is this afternoon. You're going to want to watch that. And then Liverpool. We're going to, of course, get all of the information from Valen in just a couple of minutes' time. But they set to win. And I mean, it's just, this is victory that I think they deserve. They really do. This was hanging in the balance whether or not they would actually take this with coronavirus, and wondering if it would resume, but it has resumed, and they are just how many points away now from winning?
They need
5 or 6 points.
they've gotten 4. I think they need 2.
2 more
so
points.
They need if City doesn't win tonight, then they win. No, City needs to win at Chelsea tonight.
Okay.
If City doesn't win at Chelsea tonight, Liverpool are crowned champions. But I think they go to City anyway. But it's a procession. It is just a procession. They have won. I think they about 23 points clear. Valen will tell us.
It's amazing.
So, it's a procession.
It is a procession.
We're just waiting for when.
All right. Well, as we say, details coming up with Valen. But right now, let me bring you some details with the news.